When the healing gets real, you're probably going to resist it. You know, we all want to be healed from our issues. We all want the suffering to go away. But the thing that we need to realize is that the issues are there for a reason. It makes me think of having a fever. So you get an infection and your body heats up, partially, at least according to my limited medical understanding, because certain bacteria die when your body goes much higher than normal body temperature. So, in order to heal you, in order to kill the bacteria, your body heats up. So, the heating up of the body is a mechanism for healing. And then we feel uncomfortable because we have a fever, so we take aspirin or Tylenol or whatever to bring the fever down. Now, I'm just using this as an example, so I'm sure there's all kinds of medical exceptions around this. I'm painting with a broad brush. My dad's a doctor. I know how much I'm probably messing up on the medical, but we're using it as an example, okay? The idea is that the body has a way to handle the issue, and we shut it down. Because the way the body handles the issue, in this case fever, is uncomfortable, and we don't want to be uncomfortable. So, according to this issue, according to this example, then what that means is that we don't kill the bacteria as quickly as we otherwise would have if we let the fever rage and do its job. And so we end up being sick longer than we would have been otherwise. Now, the same is with all of your emotional issues. Your body has a way of healing those issues. It might be through crying. It might be through screaming. It might be through jumping up and down and shaking it out of your body. But what happens is we don't want to look weird. We don't want to look weak, even to ourselves. So we repress these cleansing mechanisms, and we end up holding the issue in longer. The problem is that, you know, with the bacteria, when we get a cold, we have all these other things healing it. We have white blood cells and whatever else the body has to heal things. I have no idea. But with the emotional stuff, there's more of a time limit on it in terms of how the body can really deal. So, for example, you have an event that breaks your heart, that makes you really sad. And you hold back the tears, so you hold back the healing. And then let's say you're successful with that and you don't cry for a while. And then maybe a few hours later, you feel this urge to cry again. Let's say you don't do it, you hold it back again. You're going to get a few more chances to heal this, but each time you hold it back, even if you were to allow the tears the next time, you're probably not going to heal it as deeply. You're probably not going to take as many layers off of it in one crying spell. And so then eventually that sadness is going to get stuck in your body. And those moments where you feel like crying are going to be either few and far between, or they're going to stop. And since you don't have white blood cells working on it, it just stays there. It becomes a chronic issue. And then you start loading other similar chronic issues, other issues that you did not clear through crying, through emotional processing. And you get a bunch of things stacking up, sometimes in one area of the body. And then you end up with a disease affecting that part of the body. So that's why it's really important to see emotional processing as something that your body wants to do right away when the event happens, and that it's important to cooperate with that, to allow the crying to happen, the screaming, the jumping up and down, the spazzing out in whatever way. I mean, don't get yourself into trouble. Don't put yourself in a situation that's going to hurt you more in the long run. You know, ideally process these things more or less in private if you can, because you don't want to get re-traumatized by people laughing about how weak you were because you were crying or something like that. So, you know, take care of yourself, but allow the body to do the processing that it knows how to do. Now, the only problem with that is that you probably have a huge backlog of issues. And that means that somehow you need to reactivate that issue. Like, let's say there was something happened 20 years ago, you know, your dog died, whatever, somebody broke up with you, and you didn't cry. Okay. Ideally, you would activate that emotion enough that it would actually make you want to cry right now. Now, to most people, that sounds like a horrible idea, and I get it. Nobody wants to feel sad. But what I'm saying is that sadness is in you already. And I want to help you get it out. So, what I do with my clients is I try to spark those emotions. Now, sometimes it might seem like I'm trying to be cruel, because I'm guiding you into the thing you've been trying not to feel for 20 years. So, obviously, your first reaction isn't going to be like, wow, Andy, you're a genius, this is amazing. Your first reaction is like, I don't know why I'm crying, oh my God, you know, and feeling a little out of control. But then once you process it and it's gone, and then we do some energy healing to even get rid of it more, even to clear the imprints. Just then realize that there's this big piece of real estate in your body, in your organs, in your emotions, that all of a sudden is vacated. That this crap got released, this toxic poison gets released from there, And then you can fill it with something a lot better. Or you don't even have to fill it. You can just have empty space and freedom. But what you're not going to have is a bunch of reactivity based on stuff that you're not even aware of from 20 years ago. And that's a pretty good thing to have happen. So your body knows how to heal your emotions. You want to let your body do that. And on the other hand, there's stuff stuck in your body that you need to go after. And there's basically two ways to go after it. Hire somebody like me, a therapist who really triggers things and then is able to help you heal them. Or allow life events to spark that same emotion. You wait long enough, they'll come around. But I'd prefer to get ahead of it. And then when the emotion comes up again, allow the body to heal it to that degree. The only problem with that is you're not going to get as much of it as you would have doing it consciously, on purpose, going after the issue. The thing is, these emotional patterns, these reactive patterns, can be healed, can be transformed. For a lot of people, they want to think that these things are just part of who they are, but they are not. You are a soul. You are an immortal soul. You are here to create an amazing life. You have a life purpose. You have challenges to overcome. That's part of the process. Getting these things cleared out of the way just makes all that happen easier, more harmoniously, and it just makes life not as hard as people think it's destined to be. Anyway, if you want to book a session with me, you can get all my information at andysway.com or email me at andysway@yahoo.com and tell me what you'd like to work on. I can work with you by phone wherever you are in the world. And if you happen to be in LA or Southern California, we could work together in person. So I look forward to talking to you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.